And now, stand and cheer for your Talking Basketball Podcast. Welcome back to this episode. This is the second part of a doubleheader. If you haven't heard the first, go back and listen to it. If you can't be bothered, that's all right. Just keep listening to this one, and hopefully you enjoy it. And don't forget to like and subscribe. So what else, E-Man, you signed? So you were,
That's very cool,
you know,
man.
you were doing your coaching there, and we can see you were coaching like some of the youth guys, but you're also coaching university at this point, Portsmouth Uni.
Yeah, I was.
Yeah, there is another picture.
Yeah, so I was coaching Portsmouth Uni.
I mean, there's similarities here between what E-Man was doing and what Daniel Fatimade is doing.
Yeah,
like coaching the uni, coaching the men's national league. So it's
Feed team.
similar, isn't it? Similar setup.
Yeah, so Portsmouth Uni. So like this picture, this was from 2006, 2007. So yeah, that's when I had hair. Look at that. Afro.
I mean, some. You know,
I'm not one to judge on that.
in the middle, Jason Wong. I know Andrew and Andrew, my brother, and Steve Ware. They always talk about Jason Wong was the man who saved the Fury because we had no players and he stepped up for a couple of games. And
I remember I think I recommended the Fury. He was like,
okay.
"What teams can I play for?"
you saved the Fury.
No,
The
no,
Godfather
don't put it on me.
strikes again.
Always getting in.
He's
always involved.
He's the one that made the decisions go. I think I recommended both Smugglers and Fury, and he tried.
Why did you recommend both?
What?
Why did you do that?
It's 2006, 2007. I didn't know what Fury was.
What?
You knew.
3 years later, he's got a Fury trophy
Yeah, there we go. See,
that he breaks.
if only I
16
knew
years
back
later.
then. If only I knew.
Ian Chambers,
Thanasis.
Will Stewart, Thanasis. Thanasis was a great player, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Great point guard.
Fast.
So,
Yeah.
and Andy Dixon, did he play for Fury?
Andy Dixon, where is he?
Andy Dixon, no. Did he come to Fury?
I think he did for a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
There
this
you go, man.
this is literally starting the link with like the university and the local kind of Portsmouth teams.
Now,
really.
what's
The
interesting?
Godfather.
Yeah,
he
Stop
is.
it.
He says
stop
that.
it.
He
No,
says,
saying-
"No, I
he
didn't
says
do
it out
much."
your
He's
hip.
like,
Like, it
this
wasn't
is
me
where
that
the
did it.
uni link
You
starts.
heard
This
it
is
out
where it
loud.
started. No, this
You
is-
heard yourself say it. Come on. Embrace it. Lean into
So
it.
what's this? Is this more goodies for us, E-Man?
that's what I was doing.
What's that?
So-
hold on.
When you're saying this, I thought it was just quite interesting. One of the things that we were talking about with Ryan, when he was talking about the Kestrels and how there was the link with the university, and then where they've had the changes in the university. It's part of the reason with the Kestrels that they were having some of their challenges and moving away from certain things and stuff. On the flip side, when you're talking about this and the links that you built there with the uni that have then founded and carried on growing, which is now that is such a strong link between the
Yeah.
Force and the point Portsmouth.
Yeah.
That's the next feeder, isn't it, with education that we've gone back to with the schools, and then you have the outside teams, then you have the universities. That's what you're seeing more and more of now.
Yeah.
Certainly in the UK. I don't know how that is in Norway, but in the UK there's a massive link, like with Itchen and so forth, to Kestrel.
It's been like that. I think in the UK with educational institutions and sports teams, it's really worked in certain places. Like I mentioned a few, Barking Abbey, college there with Itchen, it's one of them, and they've just literally followed a model where they've linked with National League teams to the point where teams like up north, say Leicester, so they've got Charnwood College. They link in with the Leicester Riders
and Loughborough
University as well. So they link in, it's like literally we're just trying to create a pathway, and this is something that me and Simon sat down and talked about, and we were like, okay, how do we create a pathway in Portsmouth? Like, what can we do? Like, from the sessions that we have, like the open sessions, how do we actually build a performance pathway? How can we tell the player that comes into the session first, for the first time, this is where they can go, really? And we were sending kids to Solent because we didn't have a national team, a national league team at the time. So any talent that we had, Adam Riabi was one of them. We didn't have a team for him. So speaking to his mother, and we're like, okay, the best bet for him is to go to Stolen, because that was the only team at the time that can harness his talent. Really, like we couldn't do anything more with him, and he wasn't the only one. Like a lot of guys, we kind of pushed him that way.
Wow.
So like,
yeah, it's nice seeing that. That's, you know, you're bringing out these pictures here from 2006, 2007. It's like what people are seeing when they go to, say, a Force game tonight. This is where all of this is coming from.
Yeah.
People are not realising that that's where this is all coming from.
Yeah.
But there's, when you're saying about the amount of back office and admin that needs to be done with a basketball team.
Yeah.
This is how long it takes to build up season by season, refine, expand every single season.
Yeah.
That's like 15 years in the making.
Yeah, and back then it was just bits and bobs. Like you said, we had Navy, Smugglers, Fury, and we started to even have small pockets of teams like Tres Broilers.
Yeah. They're still around.
They're still around, are they?
Around.
And then I see you've got other teams as well. But then there was just like literally small pockets of teams. But we needed something that can join them. And I think we talked with Mick about this. Like we've got all the local league teams around Portsmouth. How do we get the best players to come play National League for Portsmouth from those local league teams? And I don't think there was a committee strong enough to kind of bring all the Portsmouth teams together to actually be like, we want the best talent to represent Portsmouth, really. And that's why I'm so like impressed with what's going on now, because now there is a platform for that. Like the men's, whoever is the men's coach team, is it Dan?
Yep.
Yeah, he can go out and be like, okay, right. He can go scouting around the local leagues if he wants and be like, okay, right, you see you play in Portsmouth, you have a National League team, do you like to come to trials or we'd like you to kind of work out, and that's keeping it in the city. And like Paul said, we don't need to rely so much
on the
university students.
You do see some players come out in like the half times or before or after the games, and you think you're got to be 6'4", 6'5", and you're shooting around. So I'm not seeing you on the court. Why are you not practicing? But maybe they're older, maybe they're just not interested.
Everyone has their reasons.
Email, I've got some good news. I have signed this.
Have you? Oh, no, literally. He was looking hard at that.
Well,
listen, this is the red flag to the ball. You don't.
No. What I was trying to work out, I could count 12 signatures, and I was like, well, there's 12 people there, so I was just trying to work it out. But I remembered when I started playing National League, my first number was number 10.
Oh.
And then I can't remember who it was. Someone came in and went, no. It would have been someone. I'd have gone, yep, no worries. And I went 14.
Oh,
but
wow.
yes, I am on there, number 10.
Okay.
But
it wasn't when you used to sign your signature. When he used to do, like, he went to the bank, and this is years ago, and they were like, you got to do a new signature. So he did it, and it was literally capital letters, and they're like, that's not a signature, you can't do that. He's like, but no, but that's.
I didn't
like,
have one.
He didn't have one, and he was like, you can't do that. And so he tried to like make it basically
artistic.
Yeah, it was just pretty much the same, just with the P slightly. That he's like,
no,
no, you can't do that.
Well, I remember that signature actually, because when you got all the kids there, sometimes they'd come and ask for autographs, and he'd come up and go, "Can you?" And I'd always look like, what do I write? Like block capitals. No one prepares you for that, do they?
No.
So I just used to write Paul. Just wrote Paul.
Yeah, honest. He was embracing his fame. Paul.
Yeah.
Could have been a stamp.
So, E-Man, what else you got? What's this? More pictures?
Oh, okay, this one, Simon. I don't know whether you like me for this one. Like, yeah. So, like, we ended up.
Oh, he's being protective over this photo. It's
Love
going to be good.
it.
We ended up, let's say, because we were doing a lot of coaching, as you saw in the pictures here. So we were going around the schools and we were running these schools projects. I think we ended up getting probably 25 schools or something, just in the year, and it was a really busy time. And so we needed more coaches. Had to reach out to kind of loads of different people. So we actually had a fleet of coaches going out. At the time, I didn't really notice it. I didn't really know we had that many coaches until like I look back and like when you see Matt Bates here and seeing like wow, like Matt Bates was coaching with us, and of course working with Stuart Hardiman and those guys. Like it was kind of a process that was starting, And around this time, I think, I've been around. I think at the time I was coaching Southampton University women's team. I was asked to go coach them. This is after I finished coaching with Portsmouth University. And the women's team, we were a good team. We were successful, that team. So I still wanted to be in part. I didn't just leave Southampton. I'd leave Portsmouth. I really wanted to still work with Portsmouth. So the school thing was still my thing. So that year, we decided, me and Simon, we decided we need to recruit and train people up. So, like, I did a party for all the coaches because we worked so hard that summer. Why are you smiling?
Because you're so hesitant to show it to us. That's why. What is this, like dressing up or something?
And also, you are officially the first guest to bring some stuff down.
And merch.
Oh, merch. Yeah,
okay,
I mean that
okay.
goes without saying, but this is interesting.
Yeah. So basically, this is some of the. So we did like a party thing just to show appreciation. So we did like a gala night, like a James Bond.
Hey, you're all dressed
James
up.
Bond gala night.
You're all dressed up.
So like you got Matt Birch there.
Birch.
Russ Pudsey. I don't know if you remember him. I think he was a student, so he helped out a lot. Stretch. So Richard.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was around. What's his name?
Oh, this is great.
The Stuart Hardiman, obviously, stuck in the middle, like in the back behind Simon.
Oh, Simon, that is a beaut.
His name's Daniel. Daniel's doing well for himself as a coach. I think he's coaching England now.
Everyone's all.
He's coaching England U18, yeah, and assistant coach. And then obviously there's me and Flo. I know, and there's Vicky as well.
You're all dressed, suited and booted.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'll show you these ones now. Yeah,
That is something else.
so this was like.
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
oh, that's the winner. That's the winner.
Eman and
Oh,
Simon Couture, the Godfathers.
look at that.
So when you said Godfathers, this is the picture I saw.
This is
like,
the picture, right, Mark? You get a copy of that. The Godfathers of basketball. We're
getting a photo of that.
Simon actually looks like he'd be a good film. He'd be a villain.
You're looking
He'd be a
down an
villain in
alley.
the film.
This guy's like, "Do you really want to do this?"
He's like, I'm
This is
pulling the
like-
trigger. Yeah.
This is too late. That's the
Hey,
picture, isn't
we
it? It's
need
like,
to-
it's too
we need to
late.
show
It's
people
too
these
late for you now.
pictures. We need to show people these pictures.
Oh my!
yeah.
I wonder how many people in France will get to see this before Simon goes, "Please, can you remove that from Instagram?"
Well,
That's amazing.
I did think that Eman's, I know you do the promo things for the podcast. I did think for Eman's, you could maybe go, we've got the second Godfather. Because
Yep.
the first time we did, when we did Simon, you asked for a picture, but you had done the promo videos and then he sent it to you like 2 weeks later.
Yes.
So I thought for Eman's one, you could do that promo picture. Definitely chuck these in here. And then obviously the one we got with Eman.
Yeah,
Yes.
you may need to blur out the pistols.
Yeah.
Yeah, to make
Why?
it child friendly, Instagram friendly.
Yeah, they
Really?
don't. Yeah,
Yeah.
stuff like that.
No weapons.
Change it to like
No.
it's like a duck or something.
Yeah,
I'll
I-
do,
you know,
I'll do bananas. I'll just literally do bananas.
Wait.
We could do, what could we do?
Mate.
Sausages.
Like
They're
the
holding hot
listeners
dogs.
are probably like, "What is going on? What are
Well,
we viewing?
when you
What are
see
we
the
looking at?"
picture, you'll know why it's
This
kicking off.
is, I mean, this is a look, isn't it? You can't
Wow.
unsee that.
That's brilliant.
Oh, amazing.
Simon should be James Bond
But
villain.
this again echoes when you're talking about the Fury, and you're saying when you have a community,
Yeah.
and you make a team is
Yeah.
more than just they turn up, get a result, and go home. It's a summation of the coaches. It's a combination of everyone coming together
Yeah.
and people socializing and actually getting to know this is the person that I'm going to play with.
Yeah.
Um,
And that's the thing, because like we worked so hard and it was really stressful but fun. We did it because we really enjoyed what we were doing. And I remember towards the end of the year, I was just like, and with my partner at the time, and I was like, yeah, I really need to kind of show some appreciation for these guys,
yeah,
really. So like,
that's awesome, man.
That's brilliant.
so this event, we got a stretch limo, like a stretch limo, and it's a massive event in Southampton. So limo, all kind of, all everything, food and everything in the limo and stuff, and picked them up in Portsmouth, drove them off to Southampton.
Wow.
at the
I
thing.
hope
So-
Chairman new chairman Rob Milner's listening to this, Mark. And at the end of this season, limo, picking up all the coaches.
I've done it now.
There's only one place we can go to, and that's Croxon's.
Hey,
No, that
I've
is.
done
Yes. I still want to try one of these chicken burgers, these famous chicken burgers.
Where is Coxon's?
It's down Palmerston Road.
Near Osborne Road.
Okay.
It's down Palmerston Road. Yeah, man, you can get a burger and a beer. And apparently, rumours are circulating that it is the best burger you can get in town.
I'll have to try it.
Mm.
I'm
Down
not
near where Route 66 used to be, down near around that sort of
Oh,
area.
really?
Yeah.
Okay. Right.
Croxon's.
So it's like-
Sponsor of the
Paul couldn't
Portsmouth
remember the
Force.
name of the club, and it's like, well, yeah, because we never went there particularly clear-minded necessarily.
Yep.
Well,
Cool. That's
man,
awesome.
that's
Yeah.
great.
So after this, you got on a plane.
Yeah. So what
So-
happened?
So I guess you've taken just taking a step back here. You've taken everything that you've learned from the Portsmouth basketball setup, all the stuff you got from Mick, all of that,
Mm.
and now you go to Norway.
Yeah. So going to Norway, yeah, that was a little bit of It was a weird time. It was a weird time. So,
Colder?
Yeah, it was colder. But I think making that decision to go, like, because we were just starting the Portsmouth College Basketball Academy, and I don't know whether you knew, we tried to do a partnership with Highbury at the time.
We've just set up the Portsmouth Basketball College Academy.
Yeah.
We were just trying to do a hybrid. That's why I say the Godfather. And he's questioning it.
Just sprinkling.
I think Highbury.
Sprinkling nuggets.
This is the time Highbury just built that new sports hall on their campus, and I think Fury, you played there for a couple of times.
Yeah,
Didn't
can you? It's something we talked on another podcast, but can you remember? Don't say the referee's name because they're reffing at a high level, and I don't want to embarrass them. But can you remember when we played Bournemouth Bears and there was a fast break and the ball got thrown by Bournemouth Bear and it hit the referee in the face, and she went down and then started ejecting fans for laughing. Can you remember that?
Yes.
That's, I mean, yeah. That's a.
That was a
not
great
going to
moment.
forget that. They're not going to forget
Because no one else seems to remember it.
It
Well,
hap-
McAvoy
it-
does.
Yeah, I
But they
remember
got ejected
because
for not playing.
Technical foul, you're out of it. He's like, "Oh, I'm just watching. Well, you're still out of it. All right.
yeah, it was. It happens. Yeah,
That's great.
Can a ref do that? Can a ref?
Of course they
actually-
can.
They can.
I can't eject a crowd member, but mind you, it was so intimate, that court. Like,
Was it? It wasn't a 2 meter runoff because this is very important.
There was no 2 meter run. I think.
2 meter runoffs are very important, apparently. I like poking him. He just gets wound up.
But normally, I don't know what the rules are. I ain't refereed in ages. They're like, I think the coach will get technical. The bench will get technical for fans. Really, if fans out of
The home.
the home, yeah, home bench.
And if it was an away fan, then would it be the away coach, I guess?
I think it'll still be the home, because it's up to the stewards in the facility to keep it in control.
See, it's interesting because if it came down to it, if I went to an away game or dressed up as an away fan and then went right, threw something on, it could affect a game, right?
Could do, but then it's up to the stewards of the facility to get rid of you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if
if-
they don't do
if
it,
the
that's where it goes on to the coach.
Yeah.
Okay.
goes on to the
I
bench.
remember
I
seeing
think
one
so.
at college level, and it was like,
Tell me if I'm
whoa.
wrong. Yeah.
But I would really like to get a referee on at some point on here.
Yeah, I think it would be.
Yeah.
It's, it's,
Dancing around the houses on a few of them. But
yeah.
So like doing a referee, like I did a referee course. Actually, I think level 2 referee. So I did that because when I was coaching, I wanted to kind of understand the mindset of the referee. So I think
exactly what he
people-
was talking about in the last
so
couple.
people,
It's a bow to your string, isn't it?
yeah, it's like it was really, and you know how to manipulate the referees. That's what I did.
Mm-hmm.
A little bit. Yeah.
And a little bit. I used it a lot when I was coaching at Chichester. I kind of used it a little bit just to
Yeah.
get in their heads. I'm like, referee, come on, I know this. Like, why are you doing this? Like, literally, you know how to literally communicate with them on a certain level where you're not pissing them off, but they know they know that you know what you're talking about.
When I'd found out that he'd done the reffing, I was thinking, no, this doesn't add up. Like you doing reffing, because the amount of challenges that you gave refs? Like you would challenge the refs quite frequently, should we say?
That's because I had Mick Byrne as my coach.
Exactly. But then when you look at it and you go, that makes more sense. When you look at it strategically,
Yeah, you have to hold them responsible. I actually believe that the refs, like we're taught on a referee course, that the refs are responsible for the game. So what's wrong with the coaches holding them responsible? I believe, like if something's going on and it's a foul, so too many fouls is being called on your team, coaches be like, yo, like what's going on? We've got like 14 fouls and they've got 2. Obviously we're not playing that bad, really.
So how does that game then translate? Like Paul said, with going in Norway, is there a difference between just say the British game compared to Norway, or is it the setup, or is it? I know Simon, when we interviewed him, he was talking about the setups in France and how there's so different.
Free courts
because you play in the municipal. Oh, you're a
you
city
get
team.
your courts for free.
Norway's kind of like that, yeah. So
For real?
Yeah. So basically,
I'd say one of our biggest costs is courts.
yeah.
So not all of them. I don't know if we're allowed to say, but not all of them. But
I remember courts is the big cost because you're training there. I remember when we were at Chichester, we were lucky because it was a university court, so we got it for free. But when
The badminton got rolled out.
yeah, of course, if we wanted extra training sessions, we knew it was going to cost this amount. So we were like, imagine if we had to pay, I don't know, back then it was like £30 an hour really for the court, and then times for a match day, I think it was like 3-4 hours and you had to book.
Yeah.
Because especially in National League, you had to have the court an hour earlier. And like, yeah. So imagine that plus like 3 training sessions a week. Yeah, it kind of adds up. Like, I think we tried to have training at Mountbatten once. I had this discussion with Mick. No, Matt Birch, really. And just the cost Mountbatten was giving us, we were like, what? No, we can't do that. It's just ridiculous.
I think Mountbatten in those days was one of the most expensive courts.
It was ridiculous.
From what I remember.
For our National League games, I think we got a good deal. I think Mick worked his magic to get that. Really, and we only got when we got the double court to have both bleachers. I think we managed to kind of wingle that through.
Yeah, and that was why we didn't have bleachers a lot because of the court costs.
Yeah, that's right.
So we just had one court, and it was just
one court, and we had like
you
3 steps of bleachers. Really.
Yeah. You know what? I got to say this: the Mountbatten bleachers. If you sit on the front row, you could get your heel and just kick back like that on the thing, and it made such an echo. So when I was injured, I always sat. That was great. Anyway,
and Norway,
and they were 2 meters away from, which is important.
Yeah, you got to be 2 meters away from the court all times.
I don't think they were.
No,
not
you're
outside
on the court.
Yeah, you're literally
on the court.
You're on the court.
I remember in those days running down the baseline, and a spectator tripped me up. Like I tripped up their foot. Nothing happened. Just lost the ball. It's like, what are you gonna do?
Yeah.
But there's no 2 meters on that court anyway.
But going back to that question, digress. But Norway, like what they do is that they've got the courts which the city council kind of run.
Okay.
But then they give the courts to specific sports teams to run as a business.
Oh wow!
Really? So basically, how it works is that you've got the city council, but then you've also got the sports federation.
Yep.
So the sports federation kind of organise who uses the court, what teams use the courts, and then they will kind of give the court to one of the local teams to run it. So the sports federation will give the schedule to the local team.
Is that for the whole court, the whole week?
Yeah, for the whole season.
Oh, brilliant.
Yeah. Oh, no, not for the whole season. They'll sign a contract like a lease. It'll be like a 10-year lease or something like this. And then,
wow. So it's not like you just get it Monday night, Wednesday night. It's this is your court for the next 10 years.
Yeah, this is your court. But then the thing is, like the sports federation will decide who's going to use your court. So if handball or let's say indoor hockey, basketball, like if they've got local teams. No, we don't have badminton.
Whoa!
Right.
You don't have badminton?
Not in the basket. Not in my basketball courts. Like the specific courts that have badminton.
Look at that smile.
There are specific courts that have badminton, but the court that
they separate them.
So
they try to separate courts, separate sports.
Purist basketball court, is it?
No, I think we have handball in our court as well, and then we have indoor hockey.
Okay.
So we own 3 sports that played in our court. So
Okay.
we've got to share our time with those 3 clubs. So we will be in the court. I remember when I first got to Norway, we had every day of the week. But now, because new clubs are coming in, we've got to share our time with like handball, the local handball team and the local hockey team. Really.
Okay.
So, but any free time that we've got, so during the week it's pretty much booked. But on the weekends,
It's still all free.
yeah, we don't have to pay for it. But the thing is, we get that's the thing. The club gets paid from the council to run it. So they'll get paid. I can't remember what the contract is, but they'll get.
different
So would that
mentality.
be
Isn't it?
Sport England ultimately then? Say if it's in the UK,
It would be
guess.
Sport England. But what's the local
they'd be the
version?
top.
What's the
Well, that's
local-
what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
There's no local version, so
that would
they
be
would
Sport
have
England.
Sport England because it wouldn't go through BE because BE would just be running.
No,
the league,
no,
but
it wouldn't.
it
It
would
was
be.
Sport
It would actually be Sport England, and then they'd have locality or
Yeah.
municipality
Yeah.
in the regions.
So it's completely different. So
Yeah.
you're getting your courts for free. You're getting paid,
to run the courts.
which then is going into your club to do kits or referees or whatever it is. And the contrast over here is you're not getting paid
Pay for it.
and you got to pay for it.
What do you want to do? Pay for it.
Yeah.
Pay for it.
Yeah.
Will help you.
Yeah.
Pay for it. Will help.
And the thing is, like, it's the sports the sports kind of federation that decides who uses it. So, for example, if you've got any free time, and let's say 5-side football or let's say badminton wanted to rent the hall from you, they have to pay the club to use the court.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
really?
Yeah, because it's the club's responsibility. So basically, because the club's getting paid from the city council on the lease to run it, they're responsible for opening up and closing, security, and just making sure like things are sorted. So they need to make sure.
Different world, isn't it?
It's different.
So where is it in Norway that you're?
So I'm mainly based in Oslo.
Oslo.
Yeah, Oslo, Norway. So.
Is this the Oslo Fury you've got set up there?
Sorry. I'm sorry.
What's your basketball team called?
It's called. Okay, let's see how you pronounce it. Høybråten.
I'm not even going to write that down.
Do it.
What, you're going to have to say that for you to say that again?
Høybråten.
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 Høybråten. Not Britain, Mark.
Høybråten.
Hey, like.
Oh, hey.
You know what? I'm laughing
Hey.
now because I had the
Hey.
same problem when I got.
Hey.
Yeah.
Hey.
Bro.
Bro.
10.
10.
Høybråten.
Høybråten. Høybråten.
Hey, we're going to have a big shout out now to Høybråten.
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 I'm going to write it for you and I'm going to
Wow.
see. Like, you're going to be.
I just looked up the FIBA rankings for Norway in basketball.
Uh-oh.
Where do you think they sit?
Are they above 48th?
They are. I don't really want to.
75th.
Oh, 75th.
75th. Just above Guam and just below
Høybråten.
Indonesia.
I can't do the.
We're
Took
not
well.
48th, by the way.
Took well.
We're now out of top 50. Great Britain are now 53rd
What?
in the FIBA
There you
rankings.
go.
Really?
53rd.
Oh, the men's team's not doing so well, are they?
No, they're 3v3. They did really well.
Yeah, 3 and 3 did well.
Yeah, they were.
Oh, is that over us at 5 and 5 and 3 and 3 together?
I think,
No, that's just
I
5
think
and
the
5.
senior team, like what we were looking at, is when you get into
Men's
any major.
women's team's doing quite well.
The women's
Yeah.
team, yeah, they're doing quite well.
I think all up and down everywhere they're doing pretty well. But
Yeah.
it's when you get to that National League men's setup, you're competing for any kind of tournament. You're in a European group, and the talent in European basketball is just outstanding. So when you're talking the top, I don't know if it's changed. I mean, you'll see it, but
Let's do
it
it.
was last time the top 12 teams in world rankings. 9 of them were in Europe.
Okay, I'm
Yeah,
going
that
to
makes
do.
sense.
I'm going to do the
that's-
top
and
20.
that's where
Makes sense.
Top 20. 20 Finland,
Yeah.
then Chechnya, Dominican Republic, then Montenegro, Puerto Rico, Poland, Greece, Italy, Brazil, Slovenia, Lithuania, France, Latvia, Argentina, Canada, Serbia, Australia, Germany, Spain, and apparently USA are number 1.
Hold on, Argentina's still there. They didn't make the World Cup, did they?
No,
So-
there's in their zone ranking they're like
Oh,
third.
are they?
Europe,
Okay.
European teams in top 10.
Last updated 10th of September according to the FIBA World Rankings.
So what is it? Yeah,
Presented by Nike. Got to say that.
Okay.
Germany
Nike
are
doesn't give us
only
the money.
third. 1, 2.
Yeah, world champions, but they're only third.
Yeah, that's
6 out of the top 10 now. So there's been some change. 6 out of the top 10 are European.
yeah.
But it's still like when you look at the play, I think it was it? Oh, who was it on? Was it on? It wasn't Andre Drummond. I can't remember who it was. Someone was on one of the podcasts recently, and they were saying that they think like places like Lithuania and stuff are some of the biggest hubs for basketball in the world. Like the places that we're seeing more and more Euro players going and playing in, say, like the NBA. But as soon as you take the NBA out of the equation and look at all of the Euro leagues, so many of the players are coming from all of these. There's some like hubs like Spain, Lithuania. I think Serbia, Slovenia have got a few more as well. But
Mate, it's a different level out there. Out there, basketball's a religion.
yeah,
It's a religion. Like Serbia, Lithuania, those Eastern countries. Like, it's a different mindset. Your mind will be blown. Like even in when I used to, because I had an academy in Italy called the Italian Prep Academy.
wow.
So we ran that for a few years.
The Godfather is doing some stuff
He's
in Italy as well.
Well, the Godfather in Italy, of course. Of course.
Hilarious.
Do you know what I thought?
Was it in
not-
Sicily
don't-
or was it just in?
No. Like,
You know what? It would have been great when I did that announcement of the email on the court. If he stood up, and went, "Thank you." He had a baseball bat or something.
We should have thrown that picture up. That would have been set in.
that's funny.
He should have been had a baseball bat,
He
just been
goes.
walking past like the away bench. Sorry, man. So you set up a huge club in Italy, yeah?
Not a huge club, it wasn't. It's like an academy for, basically the whole concept was to give UK players a taste of playing professional.
Oh, cool.
So basically they'll go over for a year and they'll train 2 times a day and they will play two times a week. And that's all they'll do. And if they wanted to do school, we can add school on as a bolt-on. But then it's players who finish college and they use it as a gap year between university. So what?
So that is just literally like that is a gap year. Just go out there, play
Just
a few
play ball,
times.
play
You've
ball.
got a real structure.
Yeah, that's
Wow.
for this. And then you've got coaches there that will kind of develop their game. But the main thing is just trying to get them into a mindset of what a pro basketball player goes through, where they don't think about anything else but basketball, really. And it was a very interesting project because not many people made it. Like we've got kids, of course, you've got kids saying, I want to play professional, I want to do this. But once they're there for like, let's say a month, they start getting homesick. And they don't really have anything else to do but basketball. So they get tired of it. And I noticed like when you go out and play for a team abroad, they consider you as an import, they consider you as a franchise, the guy who's coming to actually get buckets and get numbers. So if you don't perform, like they kick you out. They're like, yeah, sorry, we'll get someone else to come in. And do it. So like some of the kids were put on local teams, but some of them actually played like regional as well. And they dealt with that pressure when they were like 18, 19. And some of them did well, they stayed in, but most of them, even on the local team, they just couldn't hack the pressure. Because of course the Italians, they're good. And with the English guys are coming in, they may be good in their area, but when they go there to a basketball town, it's a totally different level. And totally different level is in everybody cares about basketball. So you will have in your games, you have in the local league game, you have the town make an event and come down and watch local league game. Really. And there'll be like 300-400 people there kind of watching, really.
Didn't Kobe Bryant come from Italy? He did.
His dad played in
I
Italy.
think he was when he was raised in Italy for a couple of years.
Yeah,
Wasn't he?
yes, his dad played there as well. Yeah, so that's, I think it was raised there as well. Yeah.
But it is crazy really when you think, when you see those teams in like the Euro leagues and you see some of the crowds there, they got like 10,000 people and it is absolutely popping off there. The noise. Someone did it in the interview we talked about before, where someone said to Yoko, like, are you under pressure because the crowd, the home crowd? And he's like, no, I played in Serbia. Like, you seen the crowd there? Then they did a perfect like VT to the crowd's there, and it's like fireworks going off. And everyone going
I was about to
mental.
find that video. Yeah, on Instagram.
He's not worried about any crowd.
It's like
in
they're
America.
tame. What are you talking about? Like,
It's and that's what they can be brutal. Like
It's like a football crowd, isn't
yeah,
it?
like
100%.
literally in Greece, Serbia, all those guys. Like those guys live for basketball. You know Lithuanians, like with their basketball, they're very kind of like
passionate,
really passionate. Green, yellow, red. They're always like representing, and like that's how they build. Like they may not play it, but then they know the sport, and they expect kind of a certain performance from their players, really. So they'll come and watch the game, and they'll be watching basketball while being engulfed in the kind of a whole experience.
Yeah.
And they'll get hyped up, literally.
It's pretty much like our football.
Exactly.
Really,
That's
isn't it?
literally
it's the
what
same
it is.
thing. It's we don't have everyone does football first in the UK most of the time, isn't it? So
yeah. So you've got like those crazy and then the crazy fans. So when you're in that environment, you've got to build up a certain caliber of player that can actually deal with that. And that comes from like these fundamental sessions, like with the youth, like repeating, training their minds that when they get into a situation in the game, they don't really crumble, really. And if you can't hack it, you're literally out. The next person will take your spot.
yeah,
So that's how they're built up real tough, really.
Yeah.
And Jokic, that
Yeah.
guy who plays for
Denver.
Denver. Yeah, like look at him. Like he started playing basketball late, didn't he?
yeah, and he's not really. He's not like an avid. He loves it, and he's got obviously amazing vision. But they're like, he just naturally does it, and he's a big guy. And
Yeah. But look at his mindset.
yeah,
That's the different thing. Like his mindset, he's just so cool, calm, collected.
100%.
Yeah. Look at what's his name, Luka.
Yeah, Luka Doncic, and
Doncic,
he will
same.
say, like the space that he gets in the NBA, he's like, you got way more space in the NBA. He said, you go play in EuroLeague, like they're on you, and you've got you're trapped. There's nowhere to go. You don't have all this space to just be hocking up threes.
Yeah.
When you go to the NBA, it's like people, I'll just make a little bit of space. I've got a free shot.
Yeah, it's a different game. And EuroLeague, like if you watch, I don't normally watch EuroLeague games, but when I do, it's so intense.
Yeah.
It's like,
Very
it's
physical.
It's different.
What's the Norwegian game like then? How would you characterise it?
The Norwegian game.
Hey, all your Norwegian listeners are going to be
Where are the Norwegian listeners from, Paul?
Oslo. Everyone from Oslo is listening now to what you think.
Where
The Norwegian game.
Where in Oslo?
That's Høybråten.
No, it's smooth.
The Høybråten Fury.
It's smooth.
That was good. Silky. But is it a different game? Because one of the things we've noticed with the BBL that we've been watching is there is a British style to basketball.
Mm-hmm.
And we've definitely noticed that as they've been doing better coverage of the media and the games and what they've been doing recently. It's not the NBA. It's a different, and it's not EuroLeague. There's a difference in it. And when they play European teams, you notice it because the European teams tend to do slightly better. But there's definitely a style of British basketball.
Yeah, I think there is, and I haven't really watched so many, but from what I've seen, it's a fast-paced, like run-gun kind of game, really, in British basketball now. And every country has their own style. They're not purely run-gun; they're in a way where they push the ball and then they set up a quick offense and then back. They're not really strategists like the Italians or the Spanish, really, where they're really working in their half-court game. Back to the Norwegian game. The Norwegian game is like they love to shoot.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they're shooters, really, and
or inside or outside?
Outside shooters.
Okay.
So
Big fans of Steph.
Yeah, Steph and James Harden. Like literally, it really annoys me because I'm from the generation where it's not like that. I'm more the generation that we're looking to create inside and then we kick out to the shooter. The shooter doesn't really dictate the flow of the offense. But nowadays the whole game is changing like that. So with the Norwegian game, they like to shoot. I from my experience with playing, there's very little inside play in there.
Oh, really?
So going to
small ball teams then? Or
yeah,
because the Nordics are famous for some rather lengthy individuals.
Yeah, that's the thing. So they are quite tall.
Well, no, it's true, isn't it? It's like are they the populace with the Norway, Sweden, Finland have got the highest, the tallest averages.
No, we are quite tall. Yeah, they're
quite
quite tall. Yeah, we're quite tall there. But and this is the thing. Like when I first went over there, I was so amazed how tall people are. I thought, basketball's gonna be quite funny, but it's just like
No,
Nah, not really.
so not a physical game, because that's your bag. So
It is.
It is. How does that translate as a coach when you're like, you want to sit there and go, get in there and stick them?
It's difficult.
Yeah,
it's very difficult because I'm like, yo, just get in, like literally get stuck in. But
Yep.
they don't really know how to do it, and when they do it, they get injured because they're not used to that type of game. So they're used to drive in, kick, drive, kick, create, drive, kick, really, and then try to find an open lane to the basket by kind of having a threat on the outside, which kind of opens up the inside for later. Really, but it's more of a drive kick game.
that was the thing in the NBA, wasn't it? When we saw those games, walking down the sidelines, and you could hear the impacts, and you were thinking, this is like a preseason game, and they were just
October.
Someone was just nudging, giving someone a little nudge, and the impact was like that, and you think, damn, that they are taking some hits, and they're big fellas, and they're taking some hits.
Yeah,
and they're not, and this is not playoffs yet. Like, so it made a massive appreciation, certainly for me, thinking when the playoffs come and people are going in hard, like, they're taking some bumps.
yeah, absolutely. So, but what I've learned, because I've kind of experienced basketball in like loads of different countries, and like you said, every country has its style, and it's being able to, as a coach against that style, know what the strengths and weaknesses of that style is, and kind of it ends up being like a coach's game, just trying to find the holes in their style. So like with GB, I think that run and gun style, like if you kind of take away and force the half court play, it's kind of I can tell from what I've seen, I haven't really watched it so intensely, but that's a little bit of the disadvantage, really. So, but I know the players coming through, they're real quick. They can run the floor really well. With the Norwegian national teams, when I'm watching them play, they're very slow bringing the ball up the court. But then they're looking to set up straight away, but looking to set up for the shooter. They're not looking to try beat the defense and try to kind of run the defense down to get something set up. So like everything has its advantages and disadvantages, really. So like now what I do in Norway now, I coach with sports performance programs. So this is what I try to do with Highbury and Portsmouth, create a sports basketball performance program.
Okay.
Where we brought in international students and they will study there. I think we actually had some Portuguese guys stay the year before I left. They were staying at Highbury in the block of flats in Highbury, and they were training in the sports hall, and then they'll come play for Portsmouth College. But the project didn't really follow through quite well because I left, really. Stuart Hardiman ran it for a year, and while I was, he did a really good job and tried to hold it all together. And then that was kind of part of the pathway to start building a stronger local league, and then get these kids playing in a national league setup in Portsmouth. So kind of understanding the Portuguese style and getting them to adapt to the British style through the Portsmouth College was kind of crazy, really.
Yeah, I can imagine Portuguese are pretty strong players.
Yeah, Portugal's they're all right with basketball.
Let's see where they are on the chart.
Yeah, very interesting.
I love it.
Love stats. No, but I think it's just everyone has a different style, but they do a little bit more.
54th, just
54th.
behind Great Britain.
Oh, really? Wow.
Great Britain 53, Portugal 54 in the FIBA standings.
Okay.
There you go.
Sponsored by Nike.
So, E-Man, like, look, lastly, I just wanted to ask you about your brand, the Rise and Baller brand. So how's that all going? Because look, I don't know what email reminds you of today. Do you remember Wayne's World?
Yep.
The bit where Garth is all dressed up in Reebok. That is how E-Man looks today. He's got Rise and Ballers everywhere, and it's brilliant. Love it. Love to see that. How is everything going with Rise and Ballers?
Yeah, I think it's going. It's going well. Like we've survived for. I can't remember, I think 12 years, 13 years now. And we've taken different kind of priorities as we've got on. So when we first started here in Portsmouth, it was pretty much taking kids off the streets and just giving them something positive to do, giving them a platform where they could just come and play, bounce the ball and do whatever, really, but in a positive space, really, and actually noticing that basketball is actually enjoyed by the kids. So one of the things that really got me coaching in Portsmouth, and especially starting the Rising Ballers program, I was asked by the City Council to do a sports day down at Mountbatten Centre. Had like 80 kids per session, so I had different sports. And I didn't know what I was doing, really. And so turned up with a load of basketballs, and Matt Birch was there. He kind of put me in the situation. And I just noticed that when I was running just my simple drills, the kids loved it. That got me questioning, like, why is there, this is when there's no kids basketball going on in Portsmouth. Why is there nothing going on in Portsmouth? The kids really enjoy the whole program, really. So I tried to kind of make some partnerships with some schools, and and some of the schools bought in, really, but they didn't really have the resources to kind of carry it through. So we tried to do after school clubs with the schools, which some schools which it worked, but then it wasn't really sustainable. So I was hopping around different schools, and then I was doing the Hampshire Youth Games, really. So we got kids into the Hampshire Youth Games through a program with the Portsmouth City Council. So I can't remember how long I was doing it, but then Simon kind of came in to the picture, and I remember, I don't know how we actually started communicating. I think he sent me a message, or I sent him a message. I don't even know what happened, really, but I managed to get in touch with him, and it was kind of, it happened so fast, really. I was like, all I remember is like I got in contact with him. We had dinner, lunch. I took him for lunch at the 10th hole because I really like the cakes down there. Yeah, amazing. So that's where I had my meetings. So I took him down there, and we talked a little bit, and I just really liked his mindset. It was like a breath of fresh air, someone positive. I was like, okay, right, I can work with this guy. And I just thought, I didn't really want to think about it even more. I was like, yeah, okay. Yeah, I want to work with you. Like, let's start something, really. And then I think he didn't even have a place to stay. I think he was living in his van at the time. He had a camper van.
I think he was moving from
Ireland.
Yeah.
So
we've heard his version of this.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I think it's all blurry to me. It just happened so fast. And before I knew it, I think he was living up in the North End after he got, that was his first apartment. He was sharing an apartment with somebody. And we sat there, I went there one morning, and we just drew out a whole plan for Portsmouth basketball, really. And one of the things we really wanted to attack was schools. We said that all the kids are in schools, all the kids are in PE lessons. We need to kind of build that kind of platform where we could just target all the kids with basketball and then just see what happens. So now I call that the pyramid kind of effect. So you get as many at the bottom, and then of course people will trickle off, and towards the top you've got your National League, like tough players. So that was kind of our focus back then, just schools, get as many kids playing. Then as time got on, we got the platform. We're trying to kind of give the kids somewhere to play regularly. So we ended up thinking, okay, right, these kids in the schools, we don't have anywhere for them to have any competition. We need to kind of work with the school's competition program. So Madeline Campbell, she was the school's competitions manager at the time. We're like, okay, we can help run basketball festivals for the schools. And the schools loved it. Like the first one we ran at Priory School, like the PE teachers were just as aggressive, really. Like it was crazy. It was so fun, really. Like the kids, they loved it, but the gym teachers, they were just like really in it. They were like proper coaching, as if they were coaching like the NBA finals or So like after we ran that with a couple of schools, we managed to get some funding from Sport England, and we found a way where the schools can actually apply for it just to build the whole structure, and we ended up just building year on year and year.
Oh, amazing.
And me and Simon were visiting the schools and just trying to kind of recruit them for this league, and we ended up just having two different instead of having one festival a year, I think we ended up having quite a few festivals during the whole year. And to the fact that we partnered up with a minibus company to help kind of deliver the kids around different tournaments, and it just got bigger and bigger and bigger, hence trying to get these other coaches to kind of help with the manpower. So that was the objective at that time, just kind of get schools in, get the schools to buy and get the kids knowing about basketball. And that was where, I think this was about the same time as this. That's why we got a load of school kids coming to the games. Because I was like, okay, let's get them seeing the National League program so they can I can aspire them to kind of continue playing for their school. So we didn't even think about starting a Portsmouth basketball kids club at the time because we didn't really know how to do it, really. So all I knew was Portsmouth College. So I was working from the top down. So we had the National League, and then there was local league, and then I thought, okay, Portsmouth College. If we can work with year 10s and year 11s, they can go into Portsmouth College, and then I can work with them on a course, really, because if they're so enthusiastic about basketball, there's a course there for them to do for like 2 years. And then that will kind of be the stepping stone into local league for Portsmouth. And at the time, I think Simon got a situation at Havant College. So I thought, this is great. And he was focusing on girls in Havant College. I was focusing on boys in Portsmouth College. And we just thought, yeah, this, like, everything's literally starting to fall into place. But we still didn't have any teams in Portsmouth for the youth. Didn't really know how to do it. We were sending kids off to Solent Kestrels. So after that, the priority started to be like, how can we set up something in Portsmouth for the youth, for the kids? And this is where Simon kind of took off with the girls, and this was around the time that I kind of left, really. And unfortunately, that was one of the hardest things to do, just leave the boys program. I left it to Richard to Stretch, really. And I was just like, yeah, it was just like an open session. Rising Stars just started. Session, leave it to that, and we'll see what happens. So obviously Simon continued with the girls situation, and that's history with what you've seen, and the boys just kind of went, really, until Steve Davidson came. So going over to Norway, I thought, okay, let me try replicate the same thing. Structure's totally different in Norway. Like, schools can't apply for funding, and also me coming in as an outsider, it was very difficult to kind of find a way. But the principles stayed the same, trying to teach the kids at a low level and then get them interested in basketball and then giving them a pathway to go all the way up. And then in Norway, they've got more teams local teams where I can actually link the local schools. So there'll be 3-4 schools that will link up to like the local club in the area. So it was easy for me to contact the club and say, okay, I'm going to be coaching in these schools. This is the outlet.
More of a structure around it.
Exactly. So that's what we'll be working on. So for the last few years, I've just been working on trying to develop the correct structure to do that. And keeping it more sustainable, but not by getting coaches, but by actually getting the schools to take more responsibility.
Okay, empower them to do it.
Exactly.
Yep.
And then the kids will go to the clubs where the clubs have their own coaches, but the level of competition, there's nothing there. So that was my main focus, to try create a level of competition for those kids. And now, like, we have that going on, and now it's just kind of around the situation, trying to create situations where, like, for example, sports facilities, equipment, trying to make sure those little small things are sorted so we can just keep the sustainability of that. So, like, with Rising Ballers, it's literally what it says is, like, we're literally trying to work from the bottom and create that pathway all the way up.
That's awesome. It's a nice way of looking at it, like a pyramid. It's a nice way of looking at it. And always what's gone alongside Rising Ballers is Rising Baller Wear. So is that still going on as well?
So basically the history behind the clothing line was that we were sponsored by Nike at the start. So Nike Gone Wharf, we got sports manager's name, Ricky. Yeah, so we got a relationship with the manager there, and he was like, yeah, whatever you need, really. So we can give you the discounted stuff, and we can put literally ridiculous discount, 70, 80% discount on the store items. Wow. So we used to get our stuff.
Ricky, give us a call.
Ricky,
I need some new stuff.
I'm sure he's not there.
He's gone now. He's long gone. But yeah, so like, but they believed in what we were doing. They're like, yeah, this is great. Like, we want as well. Obviously, they saw the more kids we had, the more that came through the store, which actually happened. And and they saw the benefits of that. We were advertising them and everything, and they got the coaches wear. And then Simon started working for Nike. I think Ricky got him a job working at Nike. So he was kind of doing that thing, and we got loads of staff discounts and loads of discounts for the players. So we'll come around with discount cards like every holiday and be like,
I remember that.
You know that?
I remember those
So
discount
like 50%
cards, yeah.
discount cards, friends and family. That was what it was called, friends and family discount cards.
Wow.
And we got special, like, so any equipment we needed, we got from them. So they will have like a load of shorts and vests, and we'll just buy them in, and we'll put the Rising Ballers kind of printing on them. But then when Ricky left, it kind of, the new manager wasn't really that interested, really. That's how it goes. So we thought, okay, we can buy the kit, so we need to raise some revenue, raise some money. And then I just thought, what about making my own kit? Really? So I did some research, I kind of spoke to some factories in England, some factories abroad, and I was like, yeah, well, let's just do it, because it's going to cost us pretty much a third of the price. And yeah, so we can just represent ourselves. And that's all it was. It wasn't to sell or nothing at all. It was just for us just to make our own stuff, really.
Well, your kits are still around now. So, like, I mean, sometimes you even go down, you see the is it RB? RW? You see the RW on the thing. So some of those kits are still around. I mean, the Fury one definitely is. I always really like the varsity jacket you had. I think you did like a varsity, like Letterman jacket. Yeah. That looked brilliant.
Yeah,
You've been hankering for one of them for a long time.
That looked brilliant. Yeah.
But yeah, back.
So that's still going. It's all still going.
It's still going, like, but it's through word of mouth. We don't really market it no more, because we don't really have the resources to kind of give a quality service for customer service and that.
Is there a website if someone wants a Rise and Baller wear?
Yeah, there's an Instagram page, but it's more like social wear with the hoodies like I gave you.
Okay.
But then, like, it's only request to order, and then if we decide to do it, and if we feel it's worthwhile doing it, we will do it. But
maybe there'll be a resurgence.
It's possible. There's a platform there. Everything is there. It's just getting the right people to kind of get it done. I think our focus right now is just creating the correct structure.
Yeah.
Because there was a time where we used it for revenue to help support the coaches, and that was really good. That was the last 3 years I was here in England. We were selling kits left, right, and centre.
Yeah, I remember.
Like, all over the place.
Everyone had a Rise and Baller.
Yeah, and that money just came back straight in, and then we paid the coaches through that. And we bought equipment for the kids. We paid for, I think we went to France, and with our boys, took them up to watch the Globetrotters. Got tickets to the USA game. Remember when USA played Great Britain before the Olympics? So, like, little trips like that. Wow. We kind of subsidised all those things really for that, and that came through the clothing line and a little bit of support that we had.
Nice.
Really.
Well, Eman, are you going to shoot a shot for us today?
You've got to shoot a shot.
You know what? I've been looking forward to this.
Well, there's no pressure.
No pressure.
No pressure.
No, I don't.
You got to get it in.
But
not that
only one person has scored, and that's Stephen Ware.
Yeah.
No pressure at all.
No pressure.
I will. Keep pressing that one. Mark's changed all the buttons around. Right. Up for the shot is Emmanuel Davies, aka E-Man. He is stepping up. Three. Well, you get 2 shots and then the Stevie Ware bonus shot. So I can see this from an angle here. So E-Man, is he warming up? He's feeling the ball. He's getting grips of the ball. Is that regulation ball size? He's not happy. Here we go. This is his first shot. In and out. In and out. In and out again. This is the bonus Stevie Ware shot. He has just taken a deep breath. I'm feeling this is going in. It's in! Oh! We have a second scorer. We have a second scorer. Wow. He's putting his headphones back on.
E-Man has actually scored, and you haven't.
Wow. Really?
E-Man. The Stevie Ware bonus shot is the what? No one scored first or second, but E-Man, how do you feel now?
Like I said, no pressure.
Wow. Like that, like, you know, you've flown all the way from Oslo to Portsmouth. You've seen a Portsmouth Force game. You come live on the, well, not live, but on the Talking Basketball podcast. You've now scored the Stevie bonus wear shot. What a holiday weekend for you.
You also had your Norwegian town's name butchered.
Hey, Britain.
He said Britain.
I couldn't. You'd said it. That was it. It was stuck in my head.
Hoi, Britain.
Wow.
Now, you know, E-Man, I'd like to ask a few questions.
Okay.
Who is taking the shot? You got one person to take one shot.
Kobe.
Wow.
Well, didn't even hesitate.
No hesitation.
Oh,
Kobe.
Okay. Is there a particular shot you're thinking of, or is it just, I'm giving it to Kobe, I'm happy?
I don't like that question.
No. I'm just saying, when he's
it's
saying
a layup, everyone's going to say different stuff, isn't it?
no, so you're just saying, I'm giving it to Kobe and I'm happy he's going to do what he's going to do.
Wherever it is.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. We'll leave it at that.
Because if it's down low, well, I'd go be saying Shaq.
You say Shaq, and you just get the ball Shaq jump.
Oh, yeah, it is. Yeah.
Like, so that's, yeah.
All right.
3-point line, you're going to
So
say.
we've refined the question.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Like it. More the point. Who's your 5 and 1? 5 and Pine.
5 and Pine. What a great saying.
Do you like that?
I'm actually going to write 1 to 5 and then Pine.
5 and Pine.
5 and Pine. Hey, that's.
Now we've had some.
Here we go.
We've had some very interesting ways that people have done it.
Okay.
5 and Pine. That's what we got to say.
So
Wow.
some people have gone with the who I want to play with. Some people have gone the best 5. Some people have gone who 5 strategically going to play together. 5 and 1.
All right. Oh.
Pick your 5 and Pine, and they can be any generations. You know, you can mix them all up. They don't all have to. He's had the whole episode to think of this, and he's still undecided.
I'm very. Okay. Well done. Right.
E-Man, as a listener of this podcast, you know this question was coming. What were you doing on your flight?
He was trying to write your surname down.
Yeah, that's
why he was just remembering your surname.
Oh, there's so many. Oh,
Love that. Someone will.
Someone's going to put you in a 5 and Pine.
Someone will go, I don't care. Charity. There you go. I'll take that.
If you were even just the +1, if you're on the Pine, you'll take it now, aren't you?
Yeah.
Got MJ.
National League charity for 10 years or whatever it was. I don't know. 5 years. I don't know.
wow.
Give us a name. Starting name.
I got Chris Paul.
Ooh. Okay.
One.
Got
Yeah.
Chris Paul starting. Okay.
Distributor.
Chris Paul starting. Something he hasn't done this season. Sorry, Chris. Couldn't say it.
Yeah, but
Do you know he's the player I think with the longest starts in his career? Like he was something like, is it 1,300 games or 1,500 games or something like that? I don't know the number off the top of my head, but he every single game that he's played in the NBA, he started in starting 5. Now he's gone to Golden State. He's come off the bench. So
yeah, that's true.
They've just literally broken his record.
His starting record. Yeah, I saw that.
Can you imagine that?
Socials.
Every single game you've ever played in, you've got to the top level. Every single game, it's like you're starting. Every single game. It sounds really silly when you think about it, but I don't think Jordan started every single game.
I know exactly how that feels, Mark.
What, you've started every single game in the NBA?
Hey, you saying I didn't score a shot. I was 2 for 2 on one day. Forget about what happened before that, but at one point I was 2 for 2.
15 you threw out before. And the only one I would count that you threw was the one where you shouted some obscenity to me as you were walking out the door, turned around, got the ball, threw it, and it went straight in. And I was like, do that again. I'll throw you the ball.
That's
and
skill.
You did it again.
Skill.
Yeah. That's what you're holding on to. But that was not.
No, there was another 2 for 2 on that side where E-Man shot.
That was not at the regulation line.
Yeah, that's a long way away, actually. I didn't expect
This
that.
is deceptive.
I mean, it's one of the small like kid rings is how to describe it, but that distance is probably what would you call it, a half court shot?
It's
In
a horrible
comparison
it's
to that
horrible.
ring size,
Especially
And the
when-
angle is
the
horrible.
because you can't see the backboard.
No, it's horrible. Everything is horrible.
It's a corner shot on the kids' ring.
And but every single person who gets
E-man.
there is like, I really want this to go in just to prove a
Mark,
point.
what number episode are we on?
32 or 33 now.
32 episodes have gone out
Wow. Shaquille.
of this, and only 2 people
Orlando
scored.
Magic.
Yeah.
So, and some would argue that that ring is as rattly as Ravlin.
Not anymore. They had brand new rings last night.
I know.
they did.
I noticed those.
Right, I've got my list.
Here we go.
Right, we've got
At
Chris
number
Paul.
1.
Okay, number 1, we've got Chris Paul. Like, I'm not very good at this stuff.
Oh, Chris, can I have my pen back?
Yeah, thank you.
Mate, so I can write them down. Paul.
So we've got Chris Paul.
And then we got Larry Bird.
Bird.
Nice.
And then we do have it's a bit of a conflict here. Let's go. Kobe, of course, because I mentioned Kobe.
Right.
We got Jordan.
Okay. This is so you got Jordan. Okay, carry on. This is good.
Sean Kemp.
Wow.
Yes.
You just
Rain.
made Mark's day.
Rain Man.
Oh, a little bit
So
weak.
he's went
Look
off his-
at that sad little smile. Someone's mentioned the Supersonics and their past glory.
Can I say, not the first person to mention Supersonics as well? I believe it was Mr. Andy Rowlands who also mentioned Mr. Kemp.
And the Pine.
Who's on the Pine?
Kevin Garnett.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's some energy. That's
So
an
he'll-
interesting team.
He'll come on and just.
Kobe
put on
and
the
Jordan, they playing together nicely?
I don't think so. But then, mind you, they did have that type of rapport. So, yeah, Kobe, like Jordan was like a mentor to Kobe. Really. So
yeah.
I think Kobe would follow in Jordan's footsteps and he would trust Jordan. And
Yeah.
like, I think
that's a good way of looking at
Kobe would be able to stand back and be like, I trust Jordan.
He'd also want to show him, though, like, yeah, I've still got, I'm 24, you're 23.
Yeah, you could do that. But then, yeah.
And then Jordan would be like, yeah, get back in your box.
There we go.
Let me show you.
Yeah,
So
we'll sort it out.
there'd be some, and then you'd have, but that's an interesting 5 and Pine.
Yeah. So, like
Wow.
I said, I did have time to think about it, but obviously I didn't. I just
You
thought
didn't.
on the spot.
You thought, yeah,
I thought,
That's a good 5. Great 5.
that's a very interesting 5 indeed.
yeah.
Well, I think that brings us to the end.
Well, E-Man, thank you for flying all the way from Oslo.
Just to come see
All
us.
the
Just to
way
talk
from
to us.
Oslo. Yeah, just for you guys, obviously. Of course.
Just for and
Just
the
us.
Portsmouth Force.
And my mum as well.
Yeah.
Shout out
Hey.
to my mum.
Shout out to yeah, you got any shout outs? Give them now.
Shout out to who do I shout out to? Whoa,
Hey, is your mum and all her friends going to be listening?
obviously.
Obviously.
Oh, you should have said that at the start. So now I have to get 2 hours, 20 minutes to hear the shout out.
Listen, they're going to,
Say to them, you got to wait.
They're
right
in
to
it.
the end.
they're in
Wait
it.
till
If they're in it, they're in it. Man, it's been a pleasure having you on.
No, it's
It's lovely to see you.
Well,
No, it's
shout
been
out
great.
to
But-
Hoy Bratton.
Who button? Wait, man, you got me saying it.
Yes.
Who button? Shout out
Wee
to-
button.
Hoy,
Wee button.
And shout out to like Rob and the guys at Portsmouth Force and like the whole kind of organisation. Really, I think you guys have done an awesome job.
It must be nice for you coming back, seeing, like, I planted the seed here, and this is where it's come.
Fingers. I don't even think of
You
it
don't
that
wanna
way.
s-
I don't want to like. I think I just helped out the situation. If it wasn't for me, I think someone else would have done it as well. I think someone else would have come along. And
Well, they
just-
didn't, and
But
you
they
guys
didn't.
did.
You did.
Yeah, but it's,
Take it. Take your flowers.
yeah. Okay, I'll take a flower. I'll take one. No.
Well, Mark, look. We've had 2 Godfathers on the show.
2
now.
godfathers. That's it. That is the
I'm
family.
still debating the Godfather thing, man. I think just like, but I appreciate that.
You're saying that we've just seen these photos, and we think otherwise. You guys lent right into that. Anyway, thank you so much for coming.
Hey, I appreciate you. Thanks
It's been a
for
massive,
thanks for
massive
hosting me.
pleasure.
It's been
Always
been
love
fun.
to see you.
It's been fun.
And
Definitely.
yeah, send our love back to Oslo.
I will.
And get everyone listening.
I
But
will.
if you are listening now and you haven't listened to our episodes, go back and just listen now. And go and listen to lots of other podcasts, but always come back to the Talking Basketball podcast. And give us an email on Paul. What's our email?
UK Basketball Podcast at gmail.com.
And of course, go on our Instagram and check it all out. I've been Mark. Thank you so much for listening.
I've been Paul. Hello. Goodbye.
Paul, any last words on badminton?
Yeah, don't play it.
Well,
Don't play it. And it's not a sport. Good night.